It's an absolute pleasure to be here, as always, with the TMRN. The TMRN always put on a great day every year, you know, the Symposium, and you always pick wonderful themes, and this year is no different with talking about transparency in trials.
The results of around half of all the clinical trials that have been carried out on medicines we use today have never been published. So we don't know what was done or what was found out in around half of all the body of clinical trials. What we're going to do is start producing some specific and live numbers and proportions of trials that have gone unreported in different sectors for different diseases, for different treatments in different countries, for different sponsors, for different institutions and for different researchers. And we'll be writing to the people responsible for these unreported trials and asking them what their plan to report is.
The idea behind the Peer Reviewers Openness Initiative is that it is a collective action of reviewers in order to increase transparency in published research. Journals and funders are an important part of this story, but they're only part of it. And as reviewers, we need to think about this, because they can be we can be a potent force for change, acting collectively, as you do with the PRO initiative.
What we're doing here today is we're actually embodying what we're talking about in terms of the whole concept of transparency. Lots of the speakers today shared with us their mistakes, their failings, their stumblings along the way. The other thing that struck me, I suppose, was the 4 PhD students, and they stood up and they did brilliantly, and it's wonderful to see, and it's wonderful to see that they have the competence and the capability to stand up in front of an audience like this and do that.
We know very little about people's views on data sharing in clinical trials, and we could really do with it, because trialists tend to think, the patients would hate it, they'll all freak out and feel that their privacy is being invaded. Well, yeah, really? We haven't asked them.
In a department of health, there's a limit to what you can do in relation to this. We're completely and utterly dependent on the Health Research Board, the HPRA, HICWA, and all of you in academia to know the detail, to wave a red flag, to look for the change that you want to happen. Continue to be active, to be vocal, to try to work together, because this is challenging. It will cost time, money and effort, but if we work together, and that is the advantage of a network like this.
So I just want to take this opportunity to give a very sincere and heartfelt thank you to all of the delegates that joined us today, to our fantastic range of speakers that travelled from far and wide to join us in the discussion around transparency in trials. I'd particularly like to welcome and thank the members of the public who reached out to come today to take part in this discussion and bring vital insights into transparency in trials. I'd like to thank our funder, the HRB, for their continued support, financial and otherwise, and in particular our colleagues in UCD who helped lead this event, our third Trial Methodology Symposium here in the Radisson Blue St Helens in Dublin. We hope to welcome you all to our 4th Symposium next year in Galway, and hope you will join us in continuing the important discussion around trial methodology.